There we are.
Live and direct.
Live and direct, as you catch me singing my own intro into the Avocado Partner Chat. Mike, you joined us a little bit later, but off cam we were talking about our office plants. Well, people join us. Chris has got a little one.
Got a little dangly number.
You've got a dangly number. Love that.
I have. Yeah, it's
that's fake as well. That's fake, Mike, isn't it?
That's a dangerous line to put on a live, but yes, I do have a dangly number.
It's amazing that we've all got plants of our own. So yeah, kicking off that. Actually had an interior designer on my LinkedIn talking about one of the episodes of this partner chat that we did recently, where we were talking about staging homes, and she was having a bit of an opinion on it as well. Said we had great points and then added some extras. So great to know that the reach of these chats are going out. So as you're joining us, we are live. Hopefully you can hear us loud and clear. Facebook and YouTube tonight. So if anyone is listening in and you've got questions, as we always say, throw them in the comments. We're not shy. You can ask us anything you want. And if you can hear us, pop us a like on the live video just so that we know. But Chris, I'll come to you. You got your office. Have you got your screensaver turned off today?
No, because I know my mum will watch, and I know for a fact it really irritates her when it starts going. Blah, 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 blah. So no, we'll kick off in a minute. You watch. Okay. She'll be in the comments. Turn it off.
Oh, Janet.
And Sanjay, you told me you've been doing 9 hours of sales chasing for your clients today. How's that been?
I've just spent a full solid day. I didn't even have a real lunch break. No comment. I'll be honest. It's I tell you what. It's
I saw your rant.
Go into with this, but we're not going to go there right now.
Yeah, he's already got some content already done for that, I'm sure.
Yes. Ellen's loving the houseplants. You know, 3 middle-aged men here just rocking out our houseplants at the start of a live video on Facebook. Don't mind us. Absolutely loving that. Well, I was doing a podcast with someone who owns a mortgage business yesterday for the landlord page, and we just about started to get onto solicitors, and I thought, right, let's not go there just in case I get too heated with it. And he said, realistically, the whole industry needs bombing and starting again. And I was like, okay, we're going to go there.
Right. Roll your sleeves up.
I feel you there, Sanjay. And Mike, slightly darker than Sanjay's professional lighting today, but how's your day been, bud?
Yeah, it's been busy, actually. Thanks. Yeah, it's been good. Again, lots of sales progression, sales chasing, which is probably a similar story to Sanjay, just on the phone, on hold or whatever. But yeah, got a few exciting new bits that we're working on, and just been booking loads of viewings into an open house that we've got on Saturday, which is now fully booked. So yeah, nice. Not bad there in the office.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's good. I think it's nice that Easter's kind of finished now and we can get back to doing what we all do best. But I would imagine what we're hoping for now is that with Easter out the way, obviously there's a shortage of properties still, and that will remain, I would imagine, for the foreseeable. But we're hoping that now Easter holidays have gone, kids went back to school either Tuesday or Wednesday, and what I'm hoping is that we're going to see an influx of family homes coming to the market. So who's valuing family homes this week that you weren't maybe valuing last week? Any of you three? Has that started yet or not quite?
I think, a bit for me. I've had, where are we now? Thursday. Four this week, 3 of which should be, are coming on the market next week. So, I'd say so. Nothing more sort of on the largest scale over the last sort of couple of weeks or so, perhaps down to Easter holidays, kids off, that kind of thing. But yeah, it seems it's busy as always this end. Good.
Well, that's positive news. And Mike, over in sort of Sandhurst, Crowthorne, any changes since the Easter break? Have you seen any sort of extra activity, or is it still just the same? Need more properties, loads of buyers looking.
Still the same, need more properties, loads of people to buy them, but things have picked up. I've been giving Will the opportunity of doing kind of all the valuations, well, not all of them, but the majority coming through, as obviously he's now back from leave with his little one. So I thought he'd probably want to get out of the house and go and take a break and go and see some different people. But yeah, we've got some good things coming up, actually. Got a massive one in Wokingham coming up at just shy of 900,000, 5-bed detached. There's some really nice family homes that are coming to the market, but not just quite ready yet. So they're ones that you sort of tee up for a few weeks' time. But yeah, it's definitely moving in the right direction for us. I think it's starting to pick up into spring movers.
I've got a buy for that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We're doing deals live.
Send me a DM.
We're
doing deals live on Facebook right here. I've actually seen a lot of clients reaching out in Facebook groups to say, we're looking for X. Is anyone looking to sell in the coming future, in the near future? Basically, I've seen Facebook groups really getting active with buyers, sort of saying what they're after, which has been quite interesting to watch. And fortunately, we're in contact with most of those clients already because they're high social media users, which makes sense while they're talking to us. But it's great to see how proactive people are being, and it's great to see that the market is still going from strength to strength. And I've seen two different reports today. One was the nationwide house price index, which anyone can find online. Check it out. And the nationwide house price index, the statement at the top of this month's report says highest house price growth in 12 months since 2004. So we're now talking, we'll all remember it, but the sort of 04, 03, 04, 05 and 06 market really was the craziest market that I'd ever experienced as an estate agent. And house prices were going up rapidly. We're talking, you would exchange on a property that you'd offered on 11 weeks ago, and you're kind of thinking, wow, I've done well here. I've made 5% on it already. Chris, I know you were doing a lot of business in Camberley around those days as well, but it seems like we're up at that level now in terms of how quickly things are moving upwards.
I think it's silly. I think it's exactly the same. Apart from there's even less stock around at the moment, and I'm sure it's just not the same in and around Camberley and Frimley. But yeah, it's exactly the same. Obviously, well, I don't think we'll see a repeat of obviously what happened at the end of that increase, obviously. But yeah, I don't think it's any different. I think if anything, I'd say it's more I'd say it's crazier now.
Yeah,
tenfold.
I tend to agree. We're saying hello to a few people. I know Ellen said hello. Andy said hello. Nina's joined us as well. If you've got any questions, Nina, she's done it in 2 different comments. Hi, and then everyone. Quite like that. Then obviously reach out, ask us a question. I mean, it's a good point. And tomorrow, 12:30, everyone will see the Avocado Weekly blog go out on all of the social pages. And that's talking about what can make the market crash. And we're not saying it's going to crash, but it's all well and good saying it's busy, it's busy, it's busy. We're objective estate agents. We want to talk about what could actually make the market crash. And within that blog, we talk about if the base rate jumps up to 3, 4, 5, 6%, if we see interest rates that are currently sat at 1.8% at maybe 5.8%, that's from an interest rate point of view, that will cause the market not to crash, but there will be a correction in prices. And that's probably the most likely thing, if anything is likely, that could happen. I don't see it happening. I don't think it will happen. There are some doom and gloomers out there that say it is going to happen, but that would be, in my view, the only thing that could potentially make the market crash in the UK. Sanjay, what's your thoughts?
I don't think it's going to crash. I think that crash is such a prominent word. Like it's quite, it's quite a powerful word. Crash, I don't think it's going to crash. I think there will be a slight decline. I'm already seeing some trends because I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to the old stats and analytics, just like you, Ian. But I'm already seeing some graphs and some trends where prices were going up, 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 up. Now they're sort of just teetering off and just still going up, but not as much. That spike has reduced. And it's just the granted, cost of living, interest rates are going up. I've had one buyer actually who's spoke to earlier. They said if we can't get into our property and by the time our mortgage offer expires, they cannot get the same rate. They cannot get the same deal. Therefore, they cannot buy the home if their mortgage offer expires. So all of a sudden, they can't buy the property. So there's so many different factors. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts, my initial thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect the market to crash, but you've got to look at it objectively and think what could, so that we can prepare if there was to be that. And I agree with you, Sanjay. Crash is a really strong word. Correction. If you've seen 5 years of house price growth, and then you have 12 months where it drops 15%, something drastic like that, but over the 5 years prior, it's gone up 28%, and over the next 5 years, it goes up 26%. Over the 10 years that you've been in your property, you've made a lot of money. A couple more people saying hello. So we've got Jenny said hello, Georgina, Rob's there as well. Hello, everyone joining us. Jenny's got a question. She's got a house on the market at the moment. She's only had 2 viewings in 6 weeks. She's already dropped the price, and she wonders if it's still too high. I'm not sure if any of us are in contact with you, Jenny, at the moment.
I know Jenny.
You know Jenny.
We have spoken before.
I knew it'd be Sanjay.
Right.
He knows everybody.
Jenny's got a lovely home, to be fair. Lovely home. There is things you can do.
I'm sure you've had that conversation with her, but in reality, you have to say it either is, or the marketing is not showing it at its true value. They're really the only two things that it can be. Is either the marketing is absolutely spot on and no one's biting, and it's not a market where you can say there's just not a buyer for that home, because there's a buyer out there for every home at the moment, which means if the marketing's on point, the price is too high for sure. It's gone on too high. Now it looks reduced. Now it's been on for 6 weeks, and you have to make a change in terms of the pricing strategy, or the marketing is not showing it off. And we've seen weather turn in the UK, at a rate of, I don't know what, one minute it's snowing, 1 minute it's hurricanes, and the next minute it's glorious sunshine like today. But I would imagine if you can get those nice, sexy, sunny, seasonal photos, it would make a big difference as well. Jenny saying hello to you, Sanjay. Personally, I feel like this is the Sanjay and Jenny show. I feel like
shall we just go?
Just go off into their own
It's
the lighting.
Outside photos need changing for sure. Yeah, that's definitely something. I mean, when it's sunny at the moment, nice fresh cut lawn, lovely green photo with nice blue sky makes a big difference. And then inside pics are great. So yeah, don't say sorry ever, Jenny, because this is exactly why we do these calls. We love to have a chat with people. So Sanjay, you know the house. Am I fair in my judgment there? It's marketing or price?
Well, personally, I don't believe in price reductions. We haven't had one in like 2 years. It kind of taints a property straight away, because a buyer is going to be like, what's wrong with it? That's the immediate answer. And I don't think it should ever be advised. However, where Jenny's house is, a drone would do wonders. I can promise you that now. Chris, you'll know all about it. There's definitely potential to like show it off so much better than how it is.
It's a game changer.
100% game changer. And I think that it's those kinds of things in a home like Jenny's got that will make the big difference to getting those eyeballs and getting someone engaged in your home. And we've done it.
It's not drone photos either, is it? We're not just talking drone pics. We're talking drone video work. It makes a massive difference.
100%.
Yeah.
There's also another comparable as well that I think taken into account. There's price and there's marketing, but I think there's a third one in my opinion, which is the person that's showing that client around the house. The marketing gets them through the door, in my opinion. The price is what entices them, but actually what signs and seals the deal is the person that shows them around. And I don't know if you guys agree, but I think we've all talked about the journey and the experience and having all the tools and all the things at your disposal to make a decision when you go and show someone a house and they feel that they've got all the information to make an offer. Who's doing the viewing, Jenny? Is it someone who actually knows the house? Do they know about, all the perks and bits and pieces that are around your situation? I don't know. So marketing's the first port of call. But again, I think the second thing would be to look at, okay, well, who has done the viewings? Is it the weekender, or is it someone who's got some experience?
Yeah, great point, Mike. There's a lot of other areas that you can look at before you need to get to price, especially if you've already dropped it once. And Sharon said hello to you, Sanjay, there as well. So yeah, great points. And I think the next thing that's important to highlight is when we're talking prices, the report came out today that in the last 24 months, so exactly 2 years, the UK has seen an average house price growth of a whopping 19%. That's based on Landbridge data. So that's massive. That's a massive jump up as well. And when we're talking about marketing, the property marketing at the moment, what we're talking about is how we maximize value for the seller but how we also make the process happen, because people can't find at the top very easily. So there has to be some real common sense and logic around how estate agents work. And what Mike's talking about there is a bit of experience and a little bit of logic, but also a strategy, an actual strategy, not just value, list and go. There needs to be a plan of action in play at the moment. So that's really important. Sanjay, you wanted to sort of touch on, it can be quite stressful trying to find a property at the moment. Just got Sharon's coming in with a question here. We'll just get to this before we jump on that. Is it me or a certain high street estate agents chancing their arm on house prices, or do you need to up my budget by 100k?
Oh God.
I know exactly.
Hot buttons for Sanjay, isn't it?
I know exactly what you're talking about, Sharon. I see it as well, and I have the same reaction sometimes. Well,
I'm going to leave that up for a little bit.
Yeah, interesting, controversial statement, I suppose. I mean, yeah, there is a lot more, believe it or not, a lot more price reductions happening now than when there was early part of this year. Again, I'm a bit of an analytics geek. I'm seeing a lot more, like a lot more, which just goes to show what's the marketing strategy the agent is using and what are they saying, because the reality is, if your home's on the market for over 2, 3, 4 weeks max, and it's not under offer, there's something going wrong there. So yeah.
I mean, let's break it down for the public. We've worked in the industry long enough between us to be able to explain why this happens. And whenever I talk about this on social media, estate agency as an industry gets absolutely bashed to pieces on comments. But Chris, coming to you, bud. Oh, someone's turned their volume up and it's got a bit of feedback, guys. I'm coming to you on this. Why does it happen?
I think a lot of the time it's a fiercely competitive industry. It always has been, but I think more so now because there was just the high street and there was online, and now you've got a third option, which is bespoke, slotting right there in the middle, which essentially is what we're being called, and our kind of business models that are being called now. So there's increased competition amongst estate agents, and whether it's the high street or the online, more has to be done now. They're trying, in terms of what they're able to do to up the game, and this is what I'm completely proud to say that we have upped the game. Our marketing is, and I will say, is absolutely head and shoulders above what anyone on the high street, and I'll say it, down in Canby, down in Frimley, are doing. Hands down, it's better. But in order to compete with that, they're not able to do what we're doing at the moment, because volume, having to sell 100 houses a month, they can't do what we do for 100 houses a month, as we could neither. But the point being, other things are having to be done to try and win that business and win against us and all other versions of the model of estate agency these days. And I think there is a lot of overpricing going on. And I went out to see a lovely house in Farnborough on end of last week. Great house. It was on the market last year. Didn't work out for whatever reason with another agent. No fault of the agent. I know that. I've gone out. It has increased, but it hasn't increased by 100 grand. At the level what it was at. It's a lovely house, nice 3-bedroom terrace house, but it hasn't gone up 100 grand. It just hasn't. And unfortunately, I think that's a classic example where the agent who shall remain nameless in Farnborough, they've simply done that to get that business. And I think that is a big thing. And I'm not sitting here saying all agents do it, because they don't. And I say it every time we come on the lives. I've got massive respect for all of my competition. They're all great, mostly great agents in Camberley, but and it's friendly competition. But that overpricing element is absolutely rife, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere. But I think that's what a lot of agents are having to resort to now to basically try and swing the business and tip the balance their way.
Yeah, and there we go. It's a shame. It happens in the industry. We know the industry's got a lot of weak points. We're doing what we can in our small part around here to try and change it, make it different, make it better. Like you said, Sanjay, you've sold a lot of properties in the last 12 months without doing a price reduction, because you're not going out there to win business for the sake of it. Your time is your value when you do this job in the way that we do it at Avocado. We don't want to waste our time for a statistic on a whiteboard that doesn't exist somewhere in an office that doesn't exist. So totally agree. Sanjay, it's stressful moving home. And what would be your tips for people that are finding it challenging with stress and worry and anxiety and everything that comes with, am I going to get that property? Am I going to be able to do it? What would be your tips and advice on that?
Let me just touch on one thing that Chris said. If you put your property on 100k more than what it should be, does the seller or the homeowner even realize how much damage that's doing to their life? I'm sorry that sounds a bit deep, but that's true, because all they're doing is basing their next purchase on that figure. They're basing their next cost on that figure they're going to get. And then all of a sudden they're not going to get it. And do you know what that does? That really damages like your whole process of moving. And it really just makes it an unfortunate scenario for someone that's been told something, believed it, and then reality has gone through with that, started planning out like their next 10 years of their life because of that conversation. And it hasn't happened. But it's a real problem. But I think in order to counteract that, you've got to kind of be really sort of front and narrow with your agent and say, what are you going to do to ensure that we get, first of all, the best price and the best buyer, but not overprice it, because it can really damage your mental health. And I've had a few scenarios like that recently, which are not cool.
No. It also it doesn't impact just you. It also impacts your estate and your neighbours, because once a price goes up at X price in the street, in the neighbourhood, also has an impact on what goes on there for people's expectations. And when it's wrong, it messes with a lot of people's expectations. And I've spoken a lot since one of these partner chats a few weeks when Stuart Bock, the Maidenhead avocado partner, for me, a revolutionary idea that would just be amazing if it could be rolled out across the industry, which is very simple. If you agree to go on market at the estate agent's valuation, and then they suggest that you need to change that price, the contract should be null and void unless you want to re-sign with them. And I just think that's the simple way to stop this happening. If an estate agent's overvalued a house by 100 grand, and then they've come to you 2 weeks later and said it needs to drop 50k, fine. But now I'm free to go with any estate agent that I want to at the price that I want to market at, because that's your price and that's the contract I signed with you. And I think that's
better. Why don't they just agree to do it for free? If they have to reduce it, they do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that would completely knock it on the head. Not even you go with another agent, you won't earn a penny out of this.
I think people make mistakes, though, don't they, Mike? And I think what it means is if 3 weeks down the line you're really happy with your estate agent, there's logic behind changing the price. You agree with them. They put their hands up. They got it wrong. The marketing's good. The service has been quality. You just re-sign with that agent because you're happy and you change the price. But if you're not and you think you've been swindled, you've got the opportunity to go elsewhere at that point. And I think then estate agents would really think about what they're signing into. It's almost their own contract that they're committing to then at that point as well. And I think that would be a really sensible way to have the industry have less overvaluing techniques across just for KPIs, basically. But there we go. We're talking about a past partner chat, and it comes back up with overvaluing. But yeah, what would be your tips on that, Sanjay?
So, on the mental health side of it?
Yeah.
I'll give you a scenario. I had a seller who was unfortunately on with another agent. The communication completely broke down. She actually used the word hate, which is a strong word to use with someone who's supposed to be offering you a service. And when I sat there in the living room, they said like our mental health and our family's mental health has taken an absolute battering because of the process we've been in, because we've had no clarity on what's happening. And they asked me, they were like, what do you want to do? And they wanted to put it on market with us, myself and Ellen, which they did. I said to them, out of pure courtesy and trust that we're about to build in this relationship, I will sign a 0-week agreement. So you're free to do whatever you want, when you want, how you want. But I will tell you now that this is the way we operate. If you're not happy with something, tell me, have a conversation. I think the biggest tip I can get is just build a relationship with your estate agent. They can cost you thousands and thousands of pounds if you get it wrong, and it's not worth it. It really isn't.
No, it's not cool.
That's probably one of my biggest tips, I would say.
I think any relationship in life and in business should be built on trust. And I think that's the way our industry has to work. And I know that's big for you, Chris, when you're talking to clients, is it's trust, trust, trust. And I think 100%. It's the same for all of us. It all comes down to trust. So Mike, just coming to you and talking about, your experience as an estate agent in the area that you work in. What do you think is going to happen over the rest of the year? Now we've had Easter, we're a couple of months away from the summer holidays. What do you see happening this year? Because people are back out and they're holidaying, and I think we're seeing prices still going from high to high to high. Will that happen forever? What are you seeing? Is there any new challenges that you're finding at the moment that could cause a hiccup, or are you expecting plain sailing for the rest of the year?
I don't think you can ever 100% say that it's all going to be plain sailing. I can see prices, like Sanjay was saying earlier, maybe just starting to taper off a little bit. I think, we're definitely going to be assuming that there are going to be some more rises in mortgage rates and things like that, cost of living going up. So I think they will have an effect on people, with people being going, okay, well, I'm not going to just go and spend another 50, 60 grand on the same house that I was, 6 months ago. Equally, I think with summer holidays coming back in again and people actually with the ability to go away, I think that we'll get that little dip as we usually do in the summer, where there's that bit of a lull when kind of nothing happens, people are away. But I think it is certainly building to get a lot busier at the moment. But it seems to be in pockets. I don't know how you guys are finding it, but it seems to be like certain price ranges are super hot, and then some of the other ones, they're just sometimes not going quite as quickly as you need to. I mean, apartments, lease, there was always been that leasehold versus freehold. I still think there's a bit of an imbalance there, of being very price sensitive and getting the marketing and pricing right on both. But I think it's going to continue. But I do think it will sort of taper off a little bit, I think, towards the end of the year.
Good. No, like that. Good. Nice to see you off the fence, Mike, and giving us a direct bit of feedback. That's always great. Not saying you're someone that sits on the fence, obviously. You don't at all. That's why I come to you with this. Chrissy's just sort of said, and really appreciate this. You guys are the best at being open at this. It helps people so much. I recommend you to everyone because there's so much trust and honesty in avocado, and that's golden for us to hear. Really appreciate your comment, and really appreciate you putting that in for us to be able to share on this live chat, because it means all of the hard work and everything that we do. I always see Chris in our WhatsApp groups editing videos at 9:30 at night sometimes, or I messaged him about 8 o'clock this morning. He's already out and about doing appointments, and that's what it's all about, isn't it, Chris? We're working hard for the client, not for the figures.
Absolutely. And I think, this is a different way of working and providing a different level of service to your clients who are investing in you, investing their time and their trust, in us as individuals who, we're all experienced estate agents, and, we're all running our own businesses here, and you have to do what you have to do. And, it's not just until 9:30 I'm editing videos sometimes it's 1 a.m. Depends how many there are. But the point is, we love what we do. I know it's very easy for people to say this, but genuinely I do. And I nearly every single person I ever meet on an appointment, whether it's a viewing, evaluation, or whatever, I say, I've been an agent for 23 years. It's a long time, but I genuinely bloody love my job. It's great fun. It's hard work. Don't get me wrong. It takes its toll. It's very hard work. I'm very tired a lot of the time, but you just do what you have to do. And that's the beauty of working like this, because I haven't got someone cracking a whip on me saying, oh, you haven't sold 20 houses this month. I don't need to sell 20 houses a month. That's not what I'm about. I'd quite happily sell 1 a month. Doesn't matter, because I'm able to provide a level of service that I know no one else can. And, that's been proven because, we see all the reviews that we all get from our, delightful clients who are writing, fantastic reviews off their own back, and comments like that Chrissy makes. It's lovely to hear, and it's lovely to know that it is being recognised. And, show me this from other agents, I'm not saying everyone's bad. They're not. There's some bloody good agents out there, but just not as good as us.
Well, I think the big thing is, and the reason, and I bring back to when we decided to found Avocado, and when we were working through the business plan, the biggest complaint for the last 20 years in this industry has been communication. And one of the big things that we thought, I know that you can start a business, Sanjay can start, all 4 of us could start a business. We'd give quality communication because it's our business, but how do you roll that out at scale And that's where Avocado was formed, is we became a brokerage, a brand, rather than a high street office with departments. We became a brokerage for other quality estate agents to go out and run their business and work with their clients. The communication will be epic from start to finish. And also the client would then hopefully recommend, because you've done right by the client rather than swindled them into a 4-month contract or whatever it turns out to be. And that's how the business was born, with that in mind, exactly as you just said there, because it means more to all of us, you know, when it's your own business, and that's just a fact. You know, it just does. So yeah, really, really powerful. Loved the comments, loved the interaction from people. What have you got bubbling then, Sanjay? Any little secret squirrels you can tell the listeners and the watchers about?
We have a very interior designy home, 3-bed detached in East Hampstead coming up, which we're very, very excited about. Ellen is very, very excited about it. She hasn't even seen it yet. I've just told some bits about it. Lovely home though. So yeah, we've got that coming on. I've got a couple more next week, but to be confirmed. There is some bits there. I've actually sort of taken a little bit of we have taken a little bit of a back seat just to try and work with our current existing clients to sort of manage everything at the moment, because we were almost at capacity a couple of weeks ago. So we're just trying to make sure that our business is still strong and quality is still there.
Okay, good. Little teaser there. Mike, what have you got on the bubble coming up?
Oh, I've got a few good things in the irons in the fire at the moment, but yeah,
Does one of them include a new laptop that doesn't sound like it's taken off?
Yeah, I do need one of those, but yeah, if anyone wants to donate to the laptop fund, I'll put the Just Giving link in the.
Oh god!
Sorry. Yeah, well, hopefully, if I can sell some of these new ones coming on, then I might be able to treat myself. Who knows, Chris? Unless you want to buy me one, of course. But no, got really nice detached property coming up in Finch, which is really nice, on a decent plot. We're planning on it and all sorts of stuff, so that will go bonkers. Obviously, the big one in Wokingham, and that 5-bed detached that's coming up. So yeah, quite a few things actually, to be honest. I think the next few weeks are going to be very, very busy, so it's definitely worth keeping your eyes pinned on that. Beat the portals.
Nice. Okay, we will keep an eye out for those. Chris, I know you said you've got a few bits on the bubble. What's coming up?
Yeah, got hopefully next week it should be coming on. It's in Fribley, 3-bed semi, massive downstairs, already been extended. It's a really, 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 really good project house, and it's, you know, we're crying out for stuff like this at the moment, and a lot of people. In fact, there's already five people I've spoken to that want to view it already. It's not even on. So that one, it will be a flogger, that's for sure. It's a cracking house. Got a Victorian 3-bed semi coming on in Camberley, just near the town centre, which again is lovely, and also possibly a mint flat apartment over in Church Crookham that Sean and I will be working on. So yeah, there's and a couple of others as well, which I won't be able to say much on just yet. But yeah, some good ones, really good ones. Nice.
Like that. Got some exciting stuff coming in then. So I just thought I'd do at the end just a quick screen share. Just thought this is really interesting for people. The bit on the right hand side here before I get to the graphic to the left. At the beginning of April 2022, there are over 1.45 million households progressing through the home moving journey, and this is increased by 300k in comparison to just January this year. So that's how different it is in the start of April in comparison to just 3.5 months ago, the start of January. It's gone up to 1.45 million households. And this is the home mover wave as we see it at the moment. There are 365,000 people that want to move. They're just in the process of doing some DIY, some flooring and windows and doors and things like that, but they're sat there in the background. So people that have not been able to find yet, that's a big chunk of those people. They're gonna be moving and it's gonna happen. They're just doing stuff. Then you've got people that are wanting to move soon, and these are people which are, they're not on the market. Maybe they're having valuations, maybe they're a little bit active, but they're moving soon. And when you think about 1.45 million people in the journey, you've got nearly 700k of them either not doing valuations, getting the house done and this, that and the other, or just at that stage of thinking about getting the house ready to put on the market. You then got 250,000 people moving now, and then 250,000 people just moved, And then you've got people that are now settling in, that have just completed, and they're kind of getting back into finishing the property off in the way they want to see it. So that's the detailed data on what's going on with the house moving wave at the moment. And why I wanted to share that is, what's exciting is the first 2 segments of that are much higher than the other 3. So it means, although it's super active at the moment, there is an influx of nearly 700,000 people in the UK that haven't even gone to market yet that want to. So don't panic quite as much, because hopefully that's what we're going to see over the rest of this year. That's what the data says. And that's a really powerful report, which normally gets it absolutely spot on. So I thought I'd share that with us and the people watching either live or later on, because that's hopefully what we're going to see. Is we're going to see more properties. And if that slows prices down, that's fine. But if it gets more people moving, more people happy, then good news all round.
Better.
Yeah. Gents, love the chat. Anyone got anything else before we wrap it up?
Nothing from me.
Good. Well, thank you to everyone that's commented. If you're watching this and we're not live, you can still comment. We definitely will pick up your comments. If you've enjoyed it, drop us a like now or after we've gone live. Really appreciate everyone that interacts on these. It means that it's just not the 4 of us chatting away to ourselves. So yeah, Chrissy, Sharon, Jenny, and everyone else that interacted throughout the whole process, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. We'll be back chatting property.